can't let them take my soul. Nah, 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 no. Oh, I can't let them take my soul. Nah, 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 no.
We're sipping on wine. Welcome back to Embrace Your Birth Doula. Welcome back to my channel. This is a little bit more different than the videos you guys have seen. I posted content like things you can put in your doula bag. Recently, I posted a lot of birth vlogs, but this is an entirely different video. This video will be about infertility. Infertility and birth obviously goes hand in hand. My purpose of doing this video is because I want to share my journey with you guys in hopes that somebody else is going through the same thing and they could possibly be helped by this video that I'm doing. So that's why I'm doing it, first and foremost. Before we get started, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to put on the screen my doctor and who I went to, and so you guys can reach out to her if you want to. Her name is Dr. Christina Dawson, but I am going to put it on the screen so you can have that information. Yeah, she's amazing. Her and her husband own a practice and they're both really great. And I'm happy that I found her because I needed answers. So before we even get started with everything, I want to just go over the course of my life and the things that have occurred to me that I thought were all separate issues, but to know now that it was a whole, it was my body as a whole. It wasn't the symptoms, it was my body as a whole. And I word it that way is because many providers, they just treat the symptoms. So if you have high blood pressure, they treat that. If you have diabetes, they treat that. If you have hypothyroidism, they treat that. Just certain things, they just treat the body specifically for these symptoms, but the symptoms are always for a greater cause. Your body's not just going through it just because, and you're having all these different complications for no reason. It's always a bigger cause for it. Before we get fully into the gist of my results from my doctor, I'm gonna just go over just a really brief history of just my childhood and then even my adulthood. So starting off as a child, I had like issues with my period. I've always had issues with gaining weight since I can remember. I would gain weight very rapidly and I never knew why I was gaining so much weight. I had issues with like period cramps, blood clotting and things like that I really didn't know where they were coming from. Now, when I got into my adulthood at 18, things weren't as bad, but as I got like into my mid 20s and up, I started to notice that my body was just going through some crazy things. I was experiencing vertigo. I was having leg cramps all the time. I was always sick. What else can I think of? I just had a long list of issues. I had high blood pressure, insulin resistance, which I'll explain in the results, but at insulin resistance, at one point I had issues where I literally could not walk because I had like chronic fatigue. And I didn't know why I had chronic fatigue, but I had chronic fatigue. I could not walk. And I would literally have to hold on to my ex-boyfriend or hold on to a wall just to even function. Like if I was in a store, I had to like hold on to somebody, well, him rather, because I couldn't function. I couldn't function alone by myself. It was at one point during that time period where I just accepted death because that just seemed like the better alternative than suffering for what I was going through. I just couldn't do anything. I honestly couldn't do anything. What saved my life is I went to a holistic doctor, and that holistic doctor at the time checked my adrenal glands. He did a bunch of testing like she did as well, and it was come to find out I had adrenal fatigue and a bunch of other things. And he was the one that confirmed that I had insulin resistance. At that time now, I did have tons of issues with eating tons of sugar. I recently cut sugar out, not totally. I have like random moments like every like 3-4 months where I want something and then something will happen that reacts like in my body wise and I'll be like, oh, I'm not doing that again. But yeah, like I was eating a lot of sugar and things like that, which was just doing my body way worse. In 2012, I went through a weight loss surgery to help me lose weight. And I kept the weight off for about, I would say, 3 or so years. And I believe in the end of 2015, I had started gaining weight. When I started gaining weight, all of those health complications, the vertical, the leg cramps, all of that stuff like started just really, really happening even more. And it was just a ripple effect after that. So I've also suffered from infertility for years. Me and my ex were together for 15 years and we never got pregnant. So also had a lot of fertility issues. So in 2016, I went to a fertility specialist that basically said my levels were normal and I fall into the unexplained. What kind of answer is that? Like, what does that do for me? Unexplained. But it is what it is. Within the last year or so, my health has gotten a lot better. I've been taking away, I've always been pretty much holistic, but I've been taking a way more holistic route. So my health has been a lot better within this last year. So what made me want to go to the current doctor is because I am now single and I know at some point I'm going to want children. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I was healthy enough. I also wanted to get to a more comfortable weight. The weight that I am at now is not my comfortable weight. It's not my comfort zone. And I just kind of just want to feel comfortable in my own skin. Although I'm happy, I just want to be comfortable in my own skin. So that was my 2 reasons for going to her. So let's get to the actual results. So she did a bunch of blood work. She did a thyroid check. She did a vitamin deficiency check, glucose test, insulin, cholesterol, allergen test, food allergies, progesterone, my FS and my FSH. She did that. I'm sorry, not my FS, my FSH. And she did my TS as well. So TSH, I'm sorry. So an iron level. She did just a bunch of different testing. She also did an ultrasound because I was experiencing some pain during my ovulation. This is what she ended up finding out. And I'm going to try to put the results on the screen so I don't forget. First and foremost, my LDL cholesterol was a little bit higher. So that was on the high end. My FSH was low for the follicle phase of my cycle. It was in normal range, but it was still lower. So that's another thing. My estradiol was pretty high. And then the number one thing that was extremely high was my testosterone. And with that testosterone, she said she was surprised that my insulin was not high, because typically when you have a higher testosterone, your insulin is high as well. I can put on the screen some side effects of having a high testosterone, but basically they would put you under a category of, PCOS, when you have a high testosterone and insulin resistance. But like I said, I had insulin resistance in the past, but I don't have it anymore because I don't eat sugar. My vitamin D was on the low end, so she recommended some things for that. Of course, I was allergic to a bunch of food. We're gonna just ignore that because that's not the important part of it. My B12 was on the low end, and my progesterone was on the low end. So progesterone and my FSH and my estradiol, all of those numbers being the way that they are, contribute to my high testosterone. I do know a few symptoms of high testosterone, which is some things that I experienced that I had no idea. High testosterone, excessive body hair, balding, acne, enlarged clitoris, decreased breast size, deep voice, increased muscle mass, irregular periods, mood swings, low libido. That's just a few things. And obviously, when they say increased muscle mass, weight gain, your body. So the way that we have been taught to think of our body and to think about the symptoms that we go through, it's like I said in the beginning of the video, they're all separate issues. Nothing is never connected, right? But the thing is that we need to understand and we need to learn is that everything is connected. And even if it doesn't seem like it's connected, everything is connected. Every single thing is connected in some sort of way. I have some clients that bought me some Moscato, so I'm drinking that with orange juice. But everything is connected. It's important to know that when we are suffering from infertility, when we're suffering from these different issues like PCOS, and they're putting these labels and diagnoses on us, that you go deeper into the issue. You know, they tell you PCOS is not curable, but it is. They tell you it's genetic, and they make it seem like you're stuck with it. But they say diabetes is genetic. They say high blood pressure is genetic. And high blood pressure, I actually beat high blood pressure on my own and got my blood pressure down to normal on my own. And with my ex, he had diabetes, and I helped him cure his diabetes and get his AC1s down to a low number. So I say all that to say that when you have all these separate symptoms, never take them as separate. Go see an integrative medicine doctor. You can Google search it, find one that's near you, call them and ask them if they're accepting new patients. But for me, my health and my body is priceless. So I don't mind spending extra money on things that I know that can make me healthy. So that's me. I know people are different, but if I'm a splurge on something, I'm a splurge on my health. That's just me. So if you want to get your body together, I am going to continue doing videos to bring you along my journey. I am going to start a regimen. I'll do a whole separate video about that once I get all of my supplements and things like that. I'll share the supplements I'm taking, and I'll share the things that I'm going to be doing to get my health back together. But I kind of just wanted to do this video because I shared it in my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, it's embraceyourbirthdoula_. I'll put it, you know, in the comments, in the description box, and I'll also, you know, put the handle right here. However, follow me on Instagram, stay up to date with me. I will continue to post videos along my journey because I am all about helping people. My life does not have purpose if I'm not being a facilitator to help people. That's why I am a birth doula. I love to help in any kind of way. I've always been this way, so I will continue to share. If you guys have any questions, you can also leave them in the comments section. Make sure to subscribe. I am trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of this year. If we can make it before then, that would be even better. But yeah, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like, make sure to share with any of your family or friends that may have some of these symptoms that I mentioned and they don't know where they're coming from. So yeah, that is the end of this video. Just make sure, like I said, leave your questions below, and see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Feeling like a man lately. Can't nobody do it like I can daily. Baddest in the lattice in the land. Body turn your nigga to a fanny up.